On there, folks? Today we're going to talk about something super important: how to recession proof yourself and your kids, and how to make money in any economy. Any economy. And I'm going to prove it to you once I make sure I'm in the right windows. Cool. In 2009, I started this YouTube channel. What was happening in 2009? We had the recession. And I've grew this channel and made a lot of money in a recession and during the recession. Now, how did that happen? Because I thought about it. Many of you don't know I've had a art-based education. I took commercial art for 4 years. I used to paint, mold, sculpt. Being artistic, being creative forces you to think in a different vector. And that's the kind of thinking and execution you're going to need in the future, because there are computers and algorithms that can write blog posts. There are algorithms that can even make YouTube videos, but they don't have any soul, and they just don't really work the way that they want. I'm going to show you something here that will blow your mind. And that is not what I want. Okay. Now, here we are. China wants to have a liberal arts education in China. Now, it's like, wait a minute. China's all about STEM, about discipline. Well, one of the things that they have found out, and I have a friend who used to teach in China, is that when the Chinese get into all of these technical fields and they're very good and they have high math aptitudes, they don't know how to innovate and they don't know how to be creative. They can copy someone very well, but they don't know how to create and make stuff. That is a big, big, big problem. And when I say make stuff, I mean be an original, like make music, make a piece of art, create a piece of software. They don't know how to do that. And due to the culture of always obeying orders, they don't know how to have initiative and to take control and take charge. Now, there are some Chinese folks who are like that, but they're usually killing them. So it's a really, really weird situation that's going on in China. But China has the world's largest economy. China will be probably the number one world leader in the world in probably 5 to 10 years. But they realize they have a problem with their education system, because they're good at making drones. They're good at making people who follow orders. They're good at creating this type of employee, but they need more entrepreneurs. They need more artists. They need more creative people. And they understand, because they're spending a ton of money on this, that if they don't get these people, they cannot be the world leader that they could be. So that's what's going on there. I mean, that's going down in China. Now, what I want you guys to understand, if you have small children, you need to make sure that these children are exposed to the arts very early. I know this goes contrary to what everyone is telling you. Make sure they do STEM. When I was in school, I went to the children's theater. It was all these wonderful plays every year. Went to the museum. And then when I started taking commercial art, went to the University of Alabama Art Department. It just instills in you a deeper sense of aesthetics, a different level of thinking. And you need to make sure that your children are exposed to the arts for at least 4 to 8 years during their formative years. They need to learn how to play an instrument. Seriously, start them at 3 or 4. They need to learn preferably they need to learn how to play 2 instruments. They need to learn a foreign language, or 2 or 3. They need to be allowed to grow their creative side, because that opens up another door in the mind. And then when they get that STEM education, because I had maybe 8, 9 years of art education. And then I went to the military and I got into a STEM field, laboratory science. So I've always had that duality there. Once again, I'm not saying don't get a STEM degree. What I'm saying is get your art education as well as get the STEM degree. It's just going to make you a much more well-rounded and capable and innovative and thinking person. That is huge in this coming future. It is so huge. Now, another thing that's going to happen here. Right now, we have a generation of people who are not very well educated. They have high GPAs. They have 3.8s, 4.0s, but they're not very well educated. When I was in school, if you didn't get the work done, they would leave you back. But due to hurting people's egos and damaging a child, you have students who are literally passed on to the next grade without being competent in anything. They don't know how to write. They don't know how to read well. You have these people in college universities still getting passed along. And this is one of the things that weakens us as a country. We have a bunch of, I'm not going to say dumb, I'm going to say a bunch of unseasoned people who are not at their fullest intellectual capacity because they were never pushed and they were passed along. This is going to be a huge, huge problem for employers in the future. It's a huge problem now, but it's going to get bigger because we got away from vocational training. We got about all this testing and stuff. So it has created a very incapable, I bet, fun to talk to generation of students who just can't do anything and can't solve problems. So that's one of the reasons that the Chinese are working on this problem, because they don't have the problem we do. Chinese workers are competent, they know what to do, but they're not creative and they're not innovative. That's a big problem for them to break through to the next level. And one of the things that has made us stupid is this. This has made us stupid. Because we can just tap Siri, or I forget the name of the Android app, and get the answers we know. So we don't write down anything. We don't have passwords saved. We don't use the part of our brain that comes about when you write something down. We're just lost so much because we're so dependent on this. And this is dangerous. Now, I have two of them, but I don't have the Facebook app on my phone. Don't have a lot of apps on my phone. I have apps that, like, I log in and look at some and I log out. Because what's happening with Facebook, Instagram, and all these platforms is that they've have a form of making you addicted to them. I'll give you a summation. Let's say you're at your desk and you know you have a lot of work to do, but you're working, your mind hurts, you're tired. You just like, I'll take a little break. So you go to YouTube and watch a video, or you go to Facebook and watch a video. Then that one video or two video turns into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which isn't bad if you're trying to learn something, but most people binge watch comedy, human nature, human interest stories. There's nothing that's really going to make them a better person or grow them. So next thing you know, they've lost 2-3 hours because of this. Now, this is something else that happens. They lose those 2-3 hours, right? When you're trying to work and be creative and to get stuff done, you need to have an environment that's conducive to you getting stuff done. So this 2 to 3 hour break or timeout from working, then there's your ramp up period to getting back in the flow. So literally, you can waste a whole day messing around with Facebook and not get anything done. And then what happens is it gets deeper because then you didn't get anything done on Tuesday. So you're like, all right, Wednesday, I'm going to go in, I'm going to get it. Wednesday, brain gets tired. You go back to Facebook. And next thing you know, you start to feel strange if you're not on Facebook, because it's giving you a dopamine trigger, a dopamine high. So now that you're not on Facebook, you're kind of like me. I thought I had guarded myself against it. This is why the app is off my phone. It got me. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a problem because I audit my time so I know what I'm doing. And I was like, whoa, whoa. My audits are like way off. My time's way off. I'm not really getting stuff done. What's happening? And when I traced it back, it was Facebook. That was the problem. Like I'm saying, it's one of the things that will create a big problem in your life. Now, let's talk about the skill sets and some of the things that can help you get rich in a recession, help you make money in a recession. How many of you knew that writers became millionaires during the Great Depression? Yes, writers became millionaires during the Great Depression. Not before, but during the Great Depression. All right, so I'm going to show you this. All right. Pope's big moment. I'm just going to kind of jump around here. But then one day, there was a revolution. On June 19th, 1939, a man named Robert D. Gaff launched Pocket Books. It was the first American mass-marketed paperback line, and it transformed the industry. What it also transformed the country is a tantalizing question that Paula Rabinowitz asked in her lively book, American Pope. But essentially, long story short, in that year, 139 million books were sold. What they did was they used to sell books and only in bookstores. Well, this guy came up with Pocket Books. This is why the books are so small. This is why Harlequin Romance, Nancy Drew, the Hardy Boys, they became ubiquitous and they were everywhere. They were in the drugstore, they were in the grocery store, they were everywhere. And because of this mass distribution, it allowed writers who could put out the work to become millionaires. And this is at 5 cents per book. This is what these books were selling for. They were selling for 2 to 5 cents. And people became millionaires off that spread. So this is, I'm going to get into it in a minute, because one of the things that you have to do is become very creative. You need some analytical skills, but to make yourself recession proof, I started this channel in a recession. This channel's 8 years old. This channel's making more money than it's ever made before. And I started in a recession. You can grow a business in a recession. Because many people are coming after me and it's like, what's recession proof? It's not so much the tactic that can make you recession proof. It's about your skill sets and talents that can make you recession proof. Right now, we're going through a creative explosion on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. People are becoming more creative because they're becoming technicians of craft. They're actually doing stuff. They're making stuff. They're building stuff. They're creating art. They're writing. That is how you make yourself recession proof to do those type of things. Now, this is what I got going on for y'all today. Below the video is a 50% off coupon for anything at hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. Now, you have to spend $350 to get into the lifetime queue of Disruptive Male Prep. Let me say this again. You have to spend $350. Just buying one course, that's not going to cut it. And I think some of you are going to be disappointed, which is why I'm going to leave some money back in PayPal, because I have a feeling that some of y'all think I'm stupid. I spent $122, G. 122 ain't 150. It's not. Just letting you know. But go below the video. Go to Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills. Pick out your course. And you will get lifetime access to the first tier of Disruptive Male Prep. Now, I know I've had some of you ask this question, like, what if you got in on the original deal and you want to upgrade? After we launch, after we get everyone handled, I'm going to send you guys out something, because I know who you are, and I will give you a very generous, as a thank you for jumping on so early, a way to move to the next levels. But we're going to do it after we launch, after we get everyone situated. That way we'll be good to go. But you had to be one of the first people to get in. So part of making yourself recession proof is you're going to have to get into your creative. Now, this is the good thing. Everyone is creative. A lot of you've had it drilled out of you, but every child, you get a bunch of kids together. How many of you have kids? And you hear these kids and they're off to themselves and they're having these conversations that are blowing your mind. They sound like little adults. That's their creative side. Everyone has it. How does one get back in touch with their creativity? You start writing, you start drawing, you start playing instruments, you start playing around, you start playing with your kids more, you start doing fun stuff, and you start problem solving. You start doing puzzles, because the creative class, I believe, and I'm going to tell you what I believe, is someone, and I want it to be me, is going to create a video, an ebook, a piece of music or something, and through the distribution of the internet, they're going to be able to sell $1 billion worth of whatever they're doing, and they're going to get the lion's share of that money. Like 90, let's see, probably like 90-some%. Let's say 95, 96%. That is going to happen. And it's not going to happen to someone who's trained in accounting. It's not going to happen to a scientist, even though Jordan Peterson is doing really well financially with his stuff. But to some creative person who's going to make a movie, it's going to make a piece of art, it's going to make a gift, they're going to sell this, there's going to be someone to monetize it, and they're going to literally make $1 billion. And this is going to happen within the next 10 years or sooner. This is going to happen. And that's just to show you the power of the creative class. Now, for those of you who are about to ask, hey, Glenn, do you have any courses on creativity? Hold on a second. Let me show you something. All right. This is going to be good. It's going to be real good. I didn't even know such a thing existed. All right. Well, that didn't work. Well, let's try this. Here we go. All right. Now that I kind of have a handle on, well, kind of sort of handle on disruptive mail, probably in 2 months, I'm going to start building out Digital Citizen. Once again, I'll tell you my plan in a minute after I explain this. So if you want to learn how to be creative, you want to learn how to write books, you want to learn how to build stuff, you want to subscribe to this channel. But I'm telling you, there's nothing there right now. Well, there's a few videos. But give me a few months, like I said, to get Disruptive Mail together. And then I'm going to start doing courses here. How to write a book, how to do an audiobook, how to create an online course. Plus, there's going to be, well, many of the mind mapping, many of the creative, and many of the mental courses will be in Disruptive Mail. But like I said, give me 2 months, and then I will start working on this. Now, this is what I am doing, and I'm going to explain it to you. I did really well with consulting last year, but I felt that even though the money was fast, the money was front loaded, that I wasn't building residual income. I wasn't building repeatable income. It was just like, yeah, they cut me a big check. I talked to them. I did work. And once the work was done, it was done. To me, at my level, for who I am, I already have books. I already know how this goes. My first book sold for really well for like almost 3 years. It still sells. 8 years later, it still sells. So I'm like, okay, we got to make a choice. You going to serve two masters? Or are you going to take a hit, dial it back down, spend months creating content and channels that aren't making any money, or not making a lot of money? Well, actually, Disruptive Mail is making money, but not as much as consulting. And I chose to do it the hard way. to release the consulting and to dig deep in my creativity to build these residual incomes, passive income, repeatable income assets for the long haul. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not telling you anything like, well, you should do this. Let me show you something. I like this. I can actually show you. How many people actually show you the websites, show you what they're actually doing, and go through the process? How many people do that? Ain't a lot of people doing it. They act like they're doing it, but they're not doing it. All right, so here's my Instagram. And I'm going to keep showing this, and be sure to follow. I am working on my creativity every day by putting up Instagram photos. Now, I don't like you going like, okay, so you putting up Instagram photos, you don't really have a large following. Where's the payoff? Well, because I'm doing this daily, I'm getting deeper and deeper in my creative. And this is the reason that the thumbnails at Disruptive Mail are so on and popping, because I've been working on this. Many of you, and we need to have this conversation, and be sure to follow me in Mac Daddy Media. Many of you are looking for simple, easy, cheap solutions to extremely complex problems. Stop it. Let that shit go. It ain't happening. And I'm going to give you an example. McDonald's has figured out a formula to give people very cheap food. Cheap food right now, hot and ready. As a consequence, their food is some of the most unhealthiest food on the planet. I'm at a point where if I eat at McDonald's, I get sick. Because I've been cleaning up my diet and working out and paying attention to what I eat. If I eat at McDonald's, I get sick. It's cheap, it's easy, it's a fast solution, but long term, it's extremely damaging to your health. That's kind of like some of these short-term tactics that a lot of you are employing. Yeah, they work real good in the beginning, but on the back end, they burn you. See, nice little parallel. So you can go for the quick and easy and have long-term consequences. Or you could just go ahead and like, look, I got this complicated problem. I need to put some brain power to it. I need to actually execute. I realize there will be no immediate gratification. And I'm going to work on it. That's what you got to do. Because once again, all of you who are looking for these short-term, super quick, super cheap solutions to vastly complex problems are fooling yourself. I'm just saying, when I had my situation with child support, I knew it was going to be complicated. So I had a complicated solution that worked like a motherfucker. Once again, stop seeking simple solutions to complex problems. It is a stupid human trick. It's something that many people use as a tactic to pull you in, and it just doesn't work as well as you think it will. And often, it's going to even create more problems than you had before. And just for those of you that know, no doc loans are back. This should be interesting. This should be very interesting. Fannie Mae put that out today. So let's get back in here. All right. So let's see what we got going on in here. Let's see. What's up, Bryant? Be Real, thanks for being the mod. The Wild Jones, thanks for being the mod. This dude Bakes, appreciate you. Logic Reign Supreme, appreciate you. No arts, no need to try science and math. There is a point to that. Lauren Hazel, agreed, works for me. Stefan Arson, now we have AI mathematically creating art, just saying. I've seen that. How many of you have seen a video that was clearly created by a computer with a computer voice and everything? It seems soulless. Now, you probably on this low grade stuff, you're going to have all this automation, but to create some things that are going to be lasting, things that are going to make you rich, like a computer, is not ever going to create an outstanding piece of art for a long time. It probably get there, but not for a long time. And that's how you can win. All right. Thank you, Johnny Walton, Archangel, Pamela. I binge watch money, health, and writing videos. Hey, you're learning something. Thank you, Donna Thompson. Cup of yes in my book for a reset to deal with computer. Okay. Archangel, I disagree with the innovation with China. China believes in classism and they have more worker bees and cultivate their engineers. Well, you can disagree with me all you want to. I have a PhD who taught over there for 3 years who told me differently. I could believe you and your opinions, or I could believe her and her teachings and facts. Once again, and that's something else we need to get into. You could disagree with me, but if you're going to disagree with me with emotion and you're going to disagree with me against someone who actually lived there and was hired to come over there and teach this stuff, I'm going to like, okay, you can disagree all day long, but I'm telling you what's really happening. The Wild Jones Report, writers of book publishers. Right now, anyone can self-publish. Anyone. Pamela C. What the? Writers got rich during the Depression. No one ever talked about it in either school or writing magazines. Let me put it to you like this, and let's go back to Archangel 3579's point. When things are happening in real time, very few people have access to that information. By the time that this information, and it will get to the populace and they'll get into the magazines and everyone will be talking about it, it could be 10 years from now. How many of you know the Wall Street Journal sources its own articles? And then you'll see the same article in other news outlets get their news from the Wall Street Journal, because the Wall Street Journal is a traditional paper that actually has reporters that go out and find stories. A lot of these other newspapers buy that information from the Wall Street Journal. So it's really interesting how once you know, because once again, not a lot of people know this. Like, he's disagreeing based on the information he has, maybe some stuff he's read, but she was actually hired to go over there and teach this stuff. And if she wanted to, she can go back, because they're trying to hire as many of them as possible to teach art. Oh, definitely Logic reigns supreme. Definitely. Lauren Hazel, one of the best times for writers and performers. It is a golden age. It's just like for the pulp fiction writers during the Great Depression. A lot of people don't know this, because one of the reasons I know this is I tend to go deep in the subject. I don't just do surface stuff, and I do my own research, and I get 3 to 4 sources to collaborate. Because if you, and also understand, the internet is manipulated like crazy. There was this independent blog that actually broke the story first of Korea's peace talks. And it looked like a clickbait vlog, and I actually posted some on my Facebook page, and then the next day everyone else had it. This blog broke the story first. Be great. I'm going to have some more shirts printed up. Just give me some time. So creativity is a commodity? No, creativity is a skill set and talent. Be real. I play chess every day. I believe it helps the strategic side of the mind. Playing chess every day can keep you from getting old and getting Alzheimer's. Let's see. When I don't write every day, I feel funny. That's a good habit to have. You know, every time I wear these shirts, people just walk up to me and start talking to me. It's the craziest thing. You've been waiting for low docs. They're here, Ebony. Yes, no docs on home mortgages from Fannie Mae. Sure thing, Swoop Man. Young Brandon, how do you feel about cursive writing? I think it's a very important skill set to have, and a lot of people can't write it and can't read it. It cracks me up. Not sure. I know the Wall Street Journal, New York Times. No, New York Times actually does have its own writers and news team. Yep, Gabran. Lauren, if you are a black creative, the big publishers are looking for them right now, but you get more money from self-publishing. Oh yeah, I had not one but two book deals, and I laughed at them. I was like, what they offered me 5,000 on the first one. They offered me 10,000 on the second one. At the time of the first one, I was making 5,000 a month. And now here's something else too that you should know about book deals. Your commission or your royalty or your advance is paid out in thirds. You get a third upon signing, you get a third upon the submission of the manuscript, and you get a third upon the printing of the book. Oh yeah, you can't sell a book anymore because you sold the rights to the book to them. So if I had fell off an Apple truck, I would have lost 70, 80. I could have lost millions. RJ, you're correct. One of those teachers, I am one of those teachers. They recognize the deficiency. I do 2 week seminar programs. Oh, that's strange. JR Tester, the lack of creativity is one of the things that keeps society suffering. Yes. Just go to Zero Hedge and put in no doc loan. Shalise Hamby, art is cheaper than therapy. It really is. New spy code, cursive writing, use it every day. Randy, you're the Benjamin Burton. What is that? Let me show you what I feel about cursive writing. I probably didn't set this camera up. Well, I can set it up real quick. This seems to be going hard. Oh, it's not even plugged in. All right, we'll go with the FaceTime camera. That is kind of crazy. Why it does that? All right, and okay, I'll give you a second here. This is what I feel about cursive writing. I used to practice this quite a bit, and it actually, let's see, I don't need the sound for that. This is my signature. I used to, people don't do it as much because maybe because I'm so big, but it's like you write like a girl. No, I write correctly. I write creatively. Uh, Steve Jamerson took a class on handwriting analysis. Handwriting is so important. People don't realize how important it can be to assist in their development. Do you know if you changed your handwriting, you could change your personality? True story. So Steven is right on it. Lauren used to work in the industry. A lot of people regret signing those book deals. I just told them no. I was like, there ain't no point in us even talking anymore. Y'all would have to come at me with like $1 million advance, and their eyes were like, oh no, we can't do that. I said, no, you can't do that, but I'm gonna do it for myself. True. Yep. This dude Bakes, thanks for being the mod. This is a good question. If you're using CreateSpace, do you recommend a free ISBN? No. Spend the money, get your own ISBNs. I really don't know that question, Will Green. AK only write in cursive. Mark 79. What separate books that make money versus the ones that don't? They're books that people want to read. Either they solve a problem or they're fascinatingly entertaining. They're really good books. Uh, Young Brandon, what was that book? No, just Google it. Google is your friend. Google changing your personality through handwriting. It'll bring up everything. Pamela C. My father had handwriting like that. His cursive writing was so unique that no one can forge his signature. I write my name the same way. A lot of people just, this is once again one of the things that's happened to us as a society. We've gotten away from craftsmanship. We've gotten away. I mean, your penmanship, this is something that you used to practice. This is something you used to be proud of. But now people are like, I don't care about that. The Wild Jones report. They're officially back for Fannie Mac, whatever it is. I can see the traits in your handwriting. Big ego, open minded, makes up the quick. Tell me I'm wrong. Uh, this is gonna sound a little weird. I actually have three forms of handwriting. I've got my own little shorthand and some other stuff. So that would be an interesting test. Mark 79. Yeah, you can. The Wild Jones report I read about handwriting being tied to your personality about 20 years ago. Yeah, because I have a fast handwriting that was fast. I have a slow, precise handwriting, and then I have my own little code. And I will tell you, I'm not going to tell you the details. I had a handwriting analysis done many years ago, and the person wanted to bring me back and study me because you're like, I've never seen nothing like this because you actually can write two different styles. That's crazy. All right. Let's see where we with this. Awesome. Okay. Oh, if you want to recession proof yourself, you're going to have to become a craftsperson. You're going to have to get good at something. Thanks, this dude Bakes, for the super chat. You're going to have to really, really sell out on improving yourself. Now, this is the beauty. You can do a podcast. You can do a YouTube channel. You can do an Instagram account. You can do a Facebook thingy. I don't, like I said, I'm not real big on Facebook, but there are people who've been fantastically successful on Facebook. You can create music. There are so many things that you can do that have a creative component that will make you money. Now, I like video, but my strong suit is writing because for those of you who will be part of Disruptive Male Prep, the PhD I was talking about is going to help me put together the course. So it's going to be like still going to have me on it. Still going to have my brand, my personality on it, but it's going to be more structured like a university course. It's going to be very, very deep. You're looking younger every video. All right, hold on. All right. The Wild Jones room. You can. I mean, well, here's the thing. If you want to change your personality and you want to change your writing, write very slow. Write everything very slow. That actually will relax you and reduce your blood pressure. Because right now we're all like going, right? So if you start writing slow and breathe in a certain way, that will actually relax you. This is a funny story. I used to do all my writing longhand, right? Then I would transpose it on the computer. When I made the shift of stop writing from longhand to putting my thoughts on the computer, it was a struggle because I wasn't used to typing and thinking at the same time. I was used to writing it and then transcribing it. But I knew that it was just going to save me so much time. It's going to save me a lot of time. Roger Ringer made a fortune back in the day of self-publishing. Uh, Let me show you someone else. Robert Heining. All right. So let's go with this cat. This guy, he was amazingly proficient and oh my god, let's see. All right. All right, let's see. When did he start writing? This guy, he has a lot of very different thoughts about writing. He doesn't believe in editing. um, he had a lot to say about writing. He wrote Starship Troopers, that movie. He wrote that in 1959. It's a lot of stuff. You have a chance to check him out. Then you've got, let's go here. Pope Fiction Writers. Nope. Let's do this. Golden Age of Science Fiction, 1938 to 1946. You saw a lot of people come out. These guys were making bank. And I want you to understand something. These guys were typing on a typewriter. They were banging out stuff on a typewriter. Some of these folks were writing a book a week on a typewriter. They were beast. They were really, really beast. So just something for you to consider. Funny. Mark 79. I've always had ideas on book titles and what I would write about, but I never looked at writing as something serious to make money off of. Let me tell you something. When I got in the storage auction business, everyone told me to keep it as a part-time endeavor. It'll break your heart. You couldn't make any real money on it, right? I completely ignored every last one of them. I told one guy, and I was like, well, I'm going to turn it into a full-time occupation. And that's exactly what I did. When I wrote my first book, I said, I'm going to give myself 2 years to make $50,000. I did it in 11 months. What you tell yourself, how you treat yourself, is how you're going to be yourself. Many people have not given themselves permission to be successful. Give yourself permission to be successful. Give yourself permission to do these things. I had this chick a few months ago who's like, you're not an attorney. You shouldn't be rendering legal advice, blah, 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 blah. I gave myself permission to go in there, fight my child support case, and win. And win. I don't put these limits on myself. You don't put these limits on yourself. If you want to be a paid writer, take a piece of paper and at the top put, I'm going to be a paid writer. Put how much money you want to make and start writing. That's what I did. That's it. People are like, well, what do you do? What's the magic secret? The magic secret is working your ass off with a goal. I gave myself 2 years to make it as a writer, and I also was real myself. If this work wasn't working out, I was going to have to either go back to the storage auction business or find something else to do. You got to do it. This is one of the things. This is one of the new things I'm introducing is execute. Like today's the 29th. How many of you have completed the $2,000 challenge? I had a lot of people who exceeded the $2,000 challenge in a shorter time frame. And guess what? You could do $2,000 in a week. You can do $8,000 in a month. You can. It ain't gonna be easy, but it's doable. How would that change your life? And this is on the free information. Y'all should be super chatting it up. Yep. Dana Thompson, while I was sick, someone else was in charge of sending handwritten thank you notes to our customers. Our customers that received notes from someone else handwriting called worry. You want to know why? That's so rare. They were definitely losing it. Candace P. So true. I'm from the West Indies, and penmanship's an actual subject up to this day. I don't write anything with carbon pens. In my childhood, you actually got punished for untidy writing. In my childhood, you got punished for untidy writing, and you got bad grades. Mike Dunmore. All right, let's talk about this because I'm getting a lot of people. All right, I show you what I'm doing. I got this YouTube channel. I got Disruptive Mail. I got my Instagram account. I got these platforms I run. I don't have time to talk to anyone who's not paying me. Let me just be real blunt and clear. That's the only way you're going to get to talk to me other than this. This is me talking to you for free. This here, you put a question there and answer it. This is the free content. This is me. You just got to show up whenever I'm on. And I'm on 5 to 7 days a week. So that's plenty of opportunity. That's what I'm saying. So, I'm going to put together some special programs and stuff for that. But right now, I'm 3 G's an hour to talk to for a business, which is beyond most of your means. And I'm not, discounting that, but you got to get a course because I'm not talking to anybody because the next year I am devoting myself to building out Disruptive Mail, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm not going to be just chit-chatting and answering a bunch of emails. If it's a work-related email or you got a course you can't sign in or something like that, then you just, the email that you use, just hit the reset button and you can get in. So that's the new thing. Yeah, you got to give yourself permission to be successful. Manual typewriter. Terry X, yeah, like Robert E. Howard created Conan the Barbarian. He started in the 30s. His estate's still making money off the character. This is another reason that I went back to intellectual property. And thank you, Terry X, because that's a good example. This man is dead, but his grandkids are still living off that Conan the Barbarian money. Elvis is dead. I think his estate made $36 million last year. Michael Jackson is dead. What, 150 million? You see where I'm going with this? Gabran, how did I get a job as a CEO without a degree? I gave myself a job. I created my own. Mike Dunmore, queer pro quo. You know it. D. Hectrich, when you say they, you're not taking personal responsibility. What are you talking about? I don't understand. But essentially, you have to let some stuff go. You have to shed some of your upbringing, especially if you're black and from the South. You were taught to keep your mouth shut, work hard, and do what people told you to do. I assiduously rejected all of that bullshit. I was questioning people in church when I was 7 years old. Been the bartender, you're telling the truth. This is why Paris is going crazy. She don't have to work. That's a whole nother thing. But you got two ways to look at this. You can look at this as, this is hard. I don't want to create a YouTube channel. I don't want to create an Instagram channel. I don't want to create a podcast. I don't want to do anything artistic, which is fine and you're right. But I'm telling you, right now, there's this window of opportunity that is so big if you want to be a creative. The window it ain't like some little, literally 100 people at a time going through this window. And it ain't going to stay open forever because I suspect the generation that's behind this one that's coming up, they're going to be doing some amazing and awesome stuff. What is up with all of these trolls that was coming out of nowhere? Dana Thompson, can you think about doing a video on how to become a prestige company? What exactly is that? Yeah, Ben, questions in church. It was a crazy thing. I think I'll tell you exactly where I outgrew or broke away from my upbringing. I was brought up to be conservative, as most black people in the South are. Work hard, which I did. Get a haircut, go to church on Sundays, which I did. When I got laid off that third time, here's the context of it. I showed up to work every day, never missed a day. I was salesman of the month. I actually outsold the second person by 30 units, which is a phone. They let me go. But they kept someone who came in through a temp agency that was better than mine. They got rid of me, the salesman of the month, and kept this lazy, no account nobody. This person was always trying to duck work, miss days, and I realized you've been brought up wrong. This ain't working no more. And at that point, I deviated from all of my upbringing. I went ahead, I created 5 resumes. I created my own reference, Mr. Patel. Yes. I went on monster.com. I found jobs I knew I can do. I didn't have any training. And I created a resume for each job. And then I worked on my Indian accent. And they called and asked me 2 questions. Did he work there and would you hire him again? Yes, yes. And that's how all this began. So I gave myself permission to be successful. At that moment in time, as I was walking down the street, Peachtree Street, from the PowerTel, which was then became VoiceStream, which now is T-Mobile, which just merged with Sprint, the 2 crappiest providers got together. It's crazy. And my life has been on this upward arc ever since. I gave myself permission to be successful. Oh, thanks, Raquel, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Ben the bartender, I see shit birds on the job all the time. Most are friends of friends or friends. You gotta take it. Black Empire. I know, although my mom was a toxic mom, I'm frightened that self-doubt and fear mindset. I'm gonna talk about that. Ganja 88. If you got a negative parent, you need to stay the fuck away from them. You need to keep yourself safe. My mom was an extremely negative person. I would visit her like 3 or 4 times a year. The visits were always about an hour or two because after about an hour or two, the negativity would start coming out. She would start that stuff, and I was like, time to go, Mom. See you next visit. You got to protect yourself. You got to let go of this notion just because she's your mom that you are under some obligation to endure her abuse. You're not. If she's going to be abusive, you need to stay away. Kevin Davis, between the lines, you created opportunities for yourself. You damn skippy, I did. Sure did. And you can do the thing. Y'all can create opportunities for yourself. Y'all can do the same thing. They know nothing. All right. So for those of you, we're going to launch Disruptive Mail Prep this week. Probably not Tuesday, but before Friday. So if you want to be a member of Disruptive Mail Prep, go below. Use the 50% off coupon. You get 50% off anything at Hustlers Kung Fu, and you have to spend $350 or more, and you'll get lifetime access to Disruptive Mail Prep. And when I get ready to close this, because let's see, there's only so many days in the week, I'll let you guys know. But right now, you can use the coupon code CREATIVE, which fits into the show, right? CREATIVE, and get 50% off. JR the tester. What about a negative coworker? Move on. Get them in trouble. I don't know. And I'm not trying to be dismissive, but I've not had a coworker in 18 years. I really don't know. I don't even know about office politics. I really don't know. Black Empire parents now, they always come with that get a real job talk. Shit is sad, but don't understand. Wow. Logic reigns supreme. Glendon, do you have a family who feel entitled to helping you because you're successful? Let me tell you the story. Long, long time ago, my mother inoculated that I was a criminal to everyone in the family. So everyone thinks that my money is generated from some criminal enterprise. They never asked, they never popped up because of that seed that she planted. At my mother's service, I had my daughter doing eBay. And my sister asked, is that legal? eBay. Because she thinks that I'm a criminal. Because there's no way that I could be this smart. There's no way I can make this much money through my honest, hard-won intellect and experience. Nah. Mm-mm. So I don't have that problem. And then one side of the family's like damn near, they're pretty well off, so they don't even need any money. And that's funny. I actually talked to them. They're just props. They're just props. Yes, we have to be that God that we were put on earth to be. Don't put your head down. Hold it up, so you can see your future as you make the steps you need to get there. Pretty much, because I'm going to talk more about this because there's a lot of people who don't feel that they can give themselves permission to be successful. Like when I was going through the court system, now I should let you know, I have been sued before, and they scared me because I was in the East Point house and open up the door. It's a Fulton County sheriff. You've been served. What? What the hell? And I went to my good friend Google and I went to court, and they were like, blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, I've done some research, Your Honor. This company doesn't have a license to collect in Georgia. And the judge goes, you got a license? Like, well, no. And it's like, case dismissed. And I was like, what? 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 And that's to begin my legal journey. I've had a few dust ups. The big thing is knowing how to file papers and know the rules of the court. And I learned them. It took, going down there in the legal. And I'm going to tell you something. When I was down there in the legal library, there's virtually nobody in there except attorneys. And it's a free resource. Anyone can use it. Yeah, seriously, logic reigns supreme. Is eBay legal? Mm-hmm. Yep. That is the truth. Okay, so once again, you know the deal. If you want 50% off of anything at Hustlers Kung Fu and you spend $350 or more, you can get lifetime access to Disruptive Mail Prep. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to kick yourself if you don't get in. That's all I'm going to say. So I want to say thanks for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow with not one, but two streams. Subscribe, okay?